The message arrived on a Tuesday morning, just like the 14 others before it. Admiral Jake Morrison sat in his office at Earth Defense Command, reading the same polite words wrapped in different alien languages. The Galactic Council requested humanity's presence at their next meeting. They wanted Earth to join their cosmic family. Jake tossed the message pad onto his desk and rubbed his tired eyes. 15 years had passed since humans first broke the light barrier and discovered they were not alone in the universe. 15 years of invitations, and 15 years of saying no. "Sir?" Commander Ben Walsh knocked on the office door. His uniform was still wrinkled from his latest deep space patrol. "You wanted to see me?" "Come in, Ben, close the door." Jake pointed to the chair across from his desk. "Tell me what you found out there." Ben sat down and pulled out his own data pad. "Same. As always, sir. They're watching us. 3 alien ships were monitoring our outer system defenses. They think they're being sneaky, but our new sensors picked them up easily." Jake nodded. The aliens had been watching Earth for months now. They thought humans were just stubborn or scared. They had no idea how wrong they were. "What about their communications?" Jake asked. "Dr. Lisa Park's team cracked their latest codes last week," Ben said. "The aliens are getting impatient. They think we're being rude by not joining their club." Jake almost smiled. If only they knew the truth. Earth wasn't avoiding the Galactic Council because they were afraid. They were staying away because they had learned what membership really meant. Dr. Park knocked and entered the office. She carried a thick folder filled with research papers. Her team had been studying every piece of alien information they could find for the past 5 years. "Admiral, I have the latest analysis," she said, settling into another chair. "The Galactic Council isn't what they pretend to be." "Explain," Jake said. Lisa opened her folder. "They call it a council, but it's really a pyramid. The 12 oldest alien races sit at the top. Everyone else serves them. When a new species joins, they become workers for the old ones." "Slaves?" Ben asked. "Not exactly," Lisa said. "More like children who never grow up. The older races make all the important decisions. The newer members just follow orders and say thank you." Jake had suspected this for years. Every piece of data they gathered pointed to the same conclusion. The Galactic Council was not a partnership of equals. It was an empire wearing a friendly mask. "There's more," Lisa continued. "President Sam Carter asked me to look into their military structure. The old races haven't fought a real war in over 300 years. Their weapons are outdated. Their tactics are ancient. They rely on numbers," Ben added. "Whenever someone causes trouble, they send so many ships that the enemy gives up without fighting." Jake stood and walked to the window. Outside, he could see the massive shipyards floating in Earth's orbit. They looked small and peaceful from here, but Jake knew better. Those yards had been working day and night for 3 years, building something the aliens had never seen before. "What does the president think?" Jake asked. "He agrees with our plan," Lisa said. "Earth won't join as a junior member. We'll wait until we can sit at the table as equals." Jake turned back to his officers. "How long until our fleet is ready?" "General Kate Thompson says 6 more months," Ben replied. "The Jupiter shipyards are ahead of schedule. The asteroid mining operations are producing more metal than we can use. And our new technology?" Lisa smiled for the first time that day. "Amy Chen's team has outdone themselves. They've taken apart every piece of alien tech we could steal and made it better. Our ships will have shields the aliens can't break and weapons they can't stop." Jake sat back down. The plan was simple in concept but massive in scope. While the aliens thought Earth was hiding like a frightened child, humanity was actually preparing for the biggest surprise in galactic history. "Any word from Captain Torres?" Jake asked. "He's still deep in alien space," Ben said. "His stealth. Ships have been mapping their defenses for 2 years. The aliens have no idea we're there. Torres and his team were heroes, though no one would ever know their names. They flew invisible ships through enemy territory, gathering intelligence and planting surveillance devices. The information they sent back had shaped Earth's entire strategy." "The aliens are planning something," Lisa said, her smile fading. "Our Spies intercepted communications about a demonstration of force. They're losing patience with us. How long? Jake asked. 6 months. Maybe less. They want to send a battle fleet to Earth to scare us into joining. Jake nodded. He had expected this. The Galactic Council was used to getting their way through intimidation. They would learn that humans didn't scare easily. Then we accelerate our timeline, Jake said. Send word to all departments. Project Silent Thunder moves to final phase. Ben and Lisa both straightened in their chairs. They had been planning this moment for years. Are you sure, sir? Lisa asked. Once we do this, there's no going back. The aliens made their choice when they decided to threaten us, Jake said. We'll show them that Earth doesn't bow to bullies. After his officers left, Jake stood alone in his office. Through the window, he could see the lights of 1,000 construction projects. Humanity was building the largest fleet in their history, hidden in the darkness between the planets. The aliens thought they knew humans. They had watched Earth's movies and read human books. They believed humans were violent and unpredictable. In a way, they were right. But they had missed the most important thing about humanity. Humans were patient. They could wait years for the right moment to strike. They could plan and prepare while their enemies grew overconfident. And when the time came, they could move, with a speed and coordination that would shock the galaxy. Jake picked up the latest invitation from the Galactic Council. Like all the others, it was polite and friendly on the surface. But he could read the threat hidden in the diplomatic language. Join us, or we'll make you join us. He dropped the message into his desk's recycling slot and smiled. Soon, very soon, the aliens would get their answer. But it wouldn't be the answer they expected. In 6 months, Earth would attend a Galactic Council meeting. But they wouldn't come as supplicants begging for acceptance. They would arrive as equals, backed by the largest fleet ever assembled by a single world. The aliens wanted to meet humanity. They were about to get their wish. Captain Ryan Torres floated in the command center of his ship, watching alien vessels move through space like lazy fish in a pond. His stealth ship hung invisible in the darkness, recording everything. For 2 years, he had been humanity's eyes and ears in enemy territory. Captain, we're picking up another convoy, whispered tech specialist Amy Chen. She worked at a console covered in alien symbols that her team had learned to read. 12 cargo ships heading toward the council capital. Ryan nodded and made notes on his datapad. Every ship movement, every communication, every piece of information went into humanity's growing database. Earth knew more about alien space than the aliens knew about themselves. Any military escorts? Ryan asked. Just 2 patrol ships, Amy replied. Same old design they've been using for 50 years. No upgrades, no improvements. Ryan almost felt sorry for the aliens. They had grown comfortable and lazy during their long peace. Their technology hadn't improved in decades because they never faced real challenges. They relied on their reputation instead of their strength. Captain Torres, this is General Kate Thompson, came a voice through their quantum communicator. The new technology allowed instant communication across any distance, without the aliens being able to listen in. Go ahead, General, Ryan said. We need you to check something for us. Dr. Alex Johnson thinks the aliens might be planning military action. Look for any unusual fleet movements. Ryan smiled grimly. Already on it, General. I've been tracking increased activity near the Council's main naval base. They're gathering ships from all over their territory. How many ships? General Thompson asked. Amy consulted her instruments. We count at least 200 vessels, with more arriving every day. It's the largest fleet they've assembled in over a century. Any idea what they're planning? Dr. Johnson was right, Ryan said. They're preparing to intimidate Earth. Our intelligence suggests they plan to park a large fleet in our solar system and demand surrender. There was silence on the communication channel. Finally, General Thompson spoke again. Keep watching. Them, Captain, we need to know when they plan to move. Understood. Torres out. Ryan turned to Amy. Show me what your team has learned about their technology. Amy pulled up holographic displays showing alien ship designs. It's amazing, Captain. Their weapons are powerful. But they're built like museum pieces. No innovation, no creativity. They just make the same things bigger. What about their defenses? Even worse. Their shields are strong but predictable. Their armor is thick but brittle. And their computers? Amy grinned. Their computers are a joke. I could hack their entire fleet with my eyes closed. This was the information that would save Earth. While the aliens had been resting on their success, humanity had been learning and improving. Every captured piece of alien technology had been studied, improved, and turned into something better. How are our new hybrid ships performing? Ryan asked. Better than we hoped, Amy said. We took their shield technology and combined it with human engineering. The result is protection that actually gets stronger when attacked. Our weapons use their energy principles but with human targeting systems. And our engines, faster than anything they have, twice as fast, and we can change direction instantly. Their ships move like trucks. Ours move like fighter jets. Ryan felt a surge of pride. Humanity had always been good at taking existing ideas and making them better. The aliens had given them the building blocks, but human creativity had built something entirely new. Captain, incoming message from Earth, called another crew member. Put it through. Admiral Morrison's face appeared on the main screen. Ryan, I need a complete report on alien military capabilities. The President is making final decisions about our response to their threat. I'll send everything we have, Admiral, but I can summarize it quickly. They have more ships than us, but our ships are better. They have more experience, but all their experience is in bullying weak opponents. In a real fight against equal opponents, they wouldn't know what to do. What about their morale? Ryan had been studying this question for months. Many of their subject species are unhappy. 3 different alien races have been quietly complaining about council rule. If fighting starts, we might have allies. Good to know. What's your assessment of their leadership? Divided. Their diplomats want to negotiate. Their military leaders want to attack. Their intelligence services are finally starting to realize they don't know as much about us as they thought. Admiral Morrison nodded. Keep gathering information, but be ready to leave quickly. If this goes badly, I don't want you trapped behind enemy lines. Understood, sir. After the communication ended, Ryan walked to the observation deck. Through the transparent metal, he could see the alien fleet growing larger every day. Soon, those ships would head toward Earth, expecting to find a weak world ready to surrender. They would be in for quite a surprise. Amy joined him at the window. Do you really think we can win? She asked. Amy, I've been watching these aliens for 2 years. They're not stupid, but they've forgotten how to fight. They've become administrators instead of warriors. And humans? Ryan thought about the massive shipyards hidden throughout Earth's solar system. He thought about the thousands of people working day and night to build humanity's response. He thought about the innovations that Amy's team had created by combining alien technology with human ingenuity. Humans remember how to fight, he said. We've never forgotten, and now we have the tools to fight on equal terms. Captain, called a crew member. Long-range sensors are detecting movement. The alien fleet is preparing to depart. Ryan hurried back to the command center. On the displays, he could see hundreds of alien ships forming into battle formations. Their target was obvious. Earth. Amy, send everything we've gathered to Admiral Morrison. Include complete tactical analyses of every ship in that fleet. All ready. Done, Captain. Good. Now pack up our surveillance equipment. It's time to go home. Finally, Amy said with relief. I'm tired of alien food. Ryan laughed, but his mind was already racing ahead. The aliens thought they were bringing overwhelming force to intimidate a primitive world. Instead, they were about to meet the most dangerous opponents they had ever faced. The Galactic Council had spent centuries conquering through fear and superior numbers. They had never fought an enemy that could match their technology and exceed their determination. They had never faced humans. Set course for Earth, Ryan ordered. Maximum speed. Course laid in, Captain. Take us home. As the stealth ship accelerated toward human space, Ryan felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. His intelligence reports would help determine the fate of humanity and possibly the entire galaxy. But he also felt confidence. The aliens were about to learn that they had picked the wrong species to threaten. Earth was ready for them, and humanity's answer would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Counselor Vexthara stood before the massive viewing screen in the council chambers, watching the human fleet prepare for departure. The alien diplomats' forearms moved in patterns that showed deep concern. In 50 years of service, Vexthara had never seen such a large military force assembled by the council. "This is madness," Vexthara said to the chamber full of alien representatives. "We should be talking to the humans, not threatening them." Fleet Marshal Corden's response rumbled through the room like distant thunder. The massive warriors' species had evolved from predators, and it showed in every word. "Talk? We have been talking for 15 years. They ignore us. They insult us. Now they must learn respect. Respect earned through fear is not true respect," Vexthara replied. "It is only temporary submission." Intelligence Chief Zale Prima approached the debate with calculated steps. Her species was known for careful thinking and detailed planning. "Both of you are missing the important point. The humans are not what they appear to be." "Explain," demanded. Core-Den. Prima activated a holographic display showing Earth's solar system. "For 2 years we have been monitoring human space. Our surveillance shows normal activity. Cargo ships, passenger transports, routine patrols. Nothing unusual." "Then what concerns you?" asked Vexthara. "The surveillance is too perfect. Every scan shows exactly what we expect to see. No surprises, no anomalies, no mistakes." Zale Prima paused. "In my experience, real life is never that neat." Corden snorted in dismissal. "You see conspiracies everywhere, Zale Prima. Sometimes simple explanations are correct. The humans are primitive and scared." Meanwhile on Earth, President Sam Carter stood in the war room deep beneath the surface of the planet. Around him, military leaders from every nation worked together on the largest operation in human history. Operation Grand Entrance was no longer a plan on paper, it was becoming reality. "General Thompson, what's our fleet status?" President Carter asked. General Kate Thompson consulted her displays. 1,000 primary warships completed and ready. 500 support vessels standing by. All crews trained and equipped. We can launch within 24 hours. "Admiral Morrison, are you confident in our technology advantage?" Admiral Jake Morrison nodded firmly. "Amy Chen's hybrid systems have exceeded all expectations. Our ships are faster, more maneuverable, and better armed than anything the aliens have. More importantly, our electronic warfare capabilities are centuries ahead of theirs." Dr. Lisa Park stepped forward with her latest intelligence reports. "Captain Torres confirms that the alien fleet has departed for Earth. 200 ships under Fleet Marshal Corden's command. They expect to arrive in 72 hours. "Perfect timing," President Carter said. "By the time they reach our system, our fleet will already be knocking on their front door." In the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, the largest secret construction project in human history was entering its final phase. Massive shipyards hidden among the floating rocks had been building humanity's answer to alien threats. The ships emerging from these facilities were unlike anything seen before in the galaxy. Amy Chen floated in the engineering section of the flagship EAS Constitution, making final adjustments to the quantum communication systems. Around her, hundreds of technicians prepared weapons, shields, and engines that combined the best of human and alien technology. "Amy, how are the electronic warfare packages?" asked Commander Tom Bradley, the ship's tactical officer. "Ready to go," Amy replied with confidence. "We can take control of any alien ship within 50,000 kilometers. Their computer security is pathetic." "What about their weapons?" "We can turn their own guns against them if necessary. But honestly, Tom, I don't think it will come to that. When they see what we've built, they're going to want to talk instead of fight." Commander Ben Walsh arrived from his latest reconnaissance mission. His ship had been watching the alien fleet's approach to Earth. "The aliens are moving slowly and in formation. They're not expecting resistance. Good, Admiral Morrison said, over the communication system. Let them think Earth is defenseless. By the time they realize the truth, we'll already be in position at their capital. The human fleet began moving from their hidden bases throughout the solar system. Ships emerged from asteroid hiding places, Jupiter's moons, and Saturn's rings. They gathered in formation beyond Neptune, invisible to alien sensors. Dr. Alex Johnson worked frantically to analyze every piece of data about alien psychology and military doctrine. His findings would determine how humanity approached the coming confrontation. Admiral, I've completed my assessment, Johnson reported. The aliens have 3 weaknesses we can exploit. First, they're overconfident. They haven't faced real opposition in centuries. Second, they're inflexible. Their tactics haven't changed in decades. Third, they're politically divided. Several species in their alliance are unhappy with the current leadership. Can we use those divisions? Admiral Morrison asked. Absolutely. If we approach this correctly, we might gain allies instead of making enemies. Back on the Council capital world, Intelligence Chief Zale Prima was becoming more concerned. Her latest reports showed disturbing gaps in their knowledge about Earth. Krine, Marshal, I recommend delaying the mission, she told Corden. We need more information about human capabilities. Impossible, Corden replied. The fleet has already departed. Besides, what could one primitive world do against 200 of our finest ships? Zale Prima's concern deepened. Throughout her career, she had learned that overconfidence was the most dangerous enemy of all. At least consider the possibility that the humans are more advanced than we believe. You worry too much, Corden said dismissively. In 3 days, the humans will surrender and this foolishness will be over. Counselor Vexthera was not convinced. What if they refuse to surrender? What if they fight? Then they will be destroyed, Corden said coldly. The Council's authority must be maintained. Unknown to the arguing aliens, the human fleet was already moving. 1,000 warships accelerated beyond the edge of Earth's solar system, heading toward the Council capital at speeds the aliens thought impossible. Advanced stealth technology kept them invisible to enemy sensors. Admiral Morrison stood on the bridge of the Constitution, watching the stars shift as his fleet entered hyperspace. Around him, the largest military force humanity had ever assembled, prepared for their grand entrance into galactic politics. Admiral, all ships report ready, Commander Bradley announced. Excellent. Dr. Park, is our diplomatic package prepared? Dr. Park held up a data crystal containing humanity's proposal for a new galactic order. Everything the aliens need to know about our intentions and capabilities. And if they refuse to listen? Amy Chen looked up from her console with a dangerous smile. Then we demonstrate why they should have taken our first message more seriously. The human fleet raced through hyperspace toward their destiny. Behind them, Earth waited for the alien demonstration fleet to arrive. Ahead of them, the Galactic Council prepared for what they thought would be a simple intimidation mission. Neither side fully understood what was about to happen. But in a few hours, the balance of power in the galaxy would shift forever. Humanity was about to announce their arrival on the galactic stage, and they intended to make an impression that would never be forgotten. The moment of truth arrived without warning. 1 second, the space around the Galactic Council's capital world was empty except for the usual traffic of cargo ships and patrol vessels. The next second, 1,000 human warships materialized. In perfect formation. Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the EAS Constitution, watching the alien world grow larger on his screens. Around the planet, space stations and defense platforms buzzed with sudden activity as alien sensors detected the massive human fleet. All ships report successful arrival, Commander Tom Bradley announced. Formation holding steady, no hostile actions detected. Good, Admiral Morrison replied. Amy, are their communication systems working? Amy Chen looked up from her console with satisfaction. All alien military frequencies are under our control. They can't coordinate their response without our permission. The psychological impact was exactly what humanity had planned. The human fleet had appeared with perfect timing and precision, demonstrating capabilities the aliens had never imagined. More importantly, they had positioned themselves around every major installation in the system. making it clear they knew exactly where everything important was located. On the planet below, emergency alarms sounded throughout the council chambers. Fleet Marshal Corden rushed to the military command center, his forelegs carrying his massive frame faster than most species could run. "Report!" he roared at the terrified communications officer. "Sir, 1,000 unknown vessels have appeared throughout our system. They're surrounding all major installations. We're trying to contact our defense fleet, but our communications are not working properly." Corden's blood turned cold. 1,000 ships was more than the council had assembled for their demonstration against Earth. How had the humans built such a fleet without anyone knowing? Intelligence Chief Zale Prima arrived moments later, her usual calm replaced by frantic activity. "Marshal, I'm receiving reports from all our monitoring stations. They detected nothing until the human ships appeared. This suggests stealth technology far beyond our capabilities." "Impossible," Corden growled. "No one has technology that advanced." "The evidence is right there." Zale Prima pointed to the tactical displays showing human ships positioned with mathematical precision around the planet. "They know our defenses better than we do." Counselor Vex Thera entered the command center, moving with the quick steps of someone carrying urgent news. "The humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. They want to talk." "What do they say?" Corden demanded. "Admiral Morrison sends his greetings. He says they received our invitation to join the Galactic Council. They have arrived to discuss terms as equals." The word equals hit Corden like a physical blow. No species had demanded equality with the Council in over 2 centuries. The idea was outrageous, impossible, unthinkable. "Equals," he snarled. "They dare call themselves our equals. Given that they just appeared in our most secure system with a fleet we never detected," Zale Prima said quietly, "perhaps we should consider their request seriously." Aboard the Constitution, Admiral Morrison prepared for the most important communication of his career. The next few minutes would determine whether humanity entered galactic politics through diplomacy or warfare. "Dr. Park, are you ready?" he asked. Dr. Lisa Park checked her translation programs one final time. "Ready, Admiral. All major council languages are programmed in." "Amy, make sure they can hear us clearly." "All their communication systems are linked to ours," Amy replied. "Everyone on that planet will hear your message." Admiral Morrison activated the communication system and spoke into the microphone. His words would be heard by billions of aliens across the Galactic Council's capital world. "This is Admiral Jake Morrison of the Earth Alliance Fleet. We have received your repeated invitations to join the Galactic Council. We have arrived to discuss membership terms, but not as subjects seeking permission. We come as equals offering partnership." He paused, allowing the translation systems to process his words into dozens of alien languages. "For 15 years, Earth has studied your civilization. We understand your history, your technology, and your political structure. We know that new species typically join as junior members, serving the interests of older races. This arrangement is unacceptable to humanity." On the planet below, the council chambers erupted in chaos. Representatives from dozens of species shouted at each other in their native languages. The newer member species looked excited by the human words. The older established races appeared outraged. "We propose a new structure for galactic civilization," Admiral Morrison continued. "One based on equality and mutual benefit rather than hierarchy and submission. We believe such an arrangement would serve everyone's interests better than the current system." Fleet Marshal Corden could barely contain his fury. "They mock us. In our own system, surrounded by our defenses, they mock the Council's authority." "What defenses?" Zale Prima asked pointedly. "They appeared without warning and positioned themselves perfectly to neutralize any response we might make. Our defenses are useless." "Sir," a junior officer interrupted nervously, "our patrol ships are reporting system malfunctions. Their weapons won't target the human vessels." Amy Chen's electronic warfare had been even more effective than planned. Human computer viruses were spreading through alien networks not to cause damage but to prevent any hostile actions while negotiations began. "How is this possible?" Corden demanded. Counselor Vex Thara studied the tactical displays with growing understanding. They've been watching us for years, learning our technology, studying our weaknesses, preparing for this moment. The humans were never afraid of us, Zale Prima added. They were waiting until they could meet us as equals. Admiral Morrison's voice continued to broadcast across the alien world. We understand this proposal represents a significant change from current practice. Therefore, we are prepared to demonstrate both our capabilities and our intentions. Q. The human fleet began a carefully choreographed display. Ships moved in perfect formation, their maneuvers impossible for any known alien vessel. Weapons powered up and down in synchronized patterns, showing both advanced technology and precise control. Holy stars, whispered a council technician. Look at their engine signatures. They're using quantum drives. We don't even have theoretical models for that technology. The display continued for exactly 10 minutes, long enough to demonstrate human capabilities without appearing threatening. When it ended, the fleet returned to its original positions around the planet. We await your response, Admiral Morrison concluded. We prefer to solve this through discussion, but we are prepared for any outcome. The communication ended, leaving the council chambers in stunned silence. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council faced a species that could not be intimidated or dismissed. Fleet Marshal Corden stared at the tactical displays showing human ships surrounding his world. Each vessel was positioned to control key installations and shipping lanes. The humans had effectively occupied the Council's capital without firing a shot. Options? He asked his staff. We could attack, suggested one officer, though his voice lacked confidence. With what? Zale Prima replied. They control our communications and our targeting systems. Any attack would be suicide. We could call for reinforcements, offered another voice. From where? They appeared here faster than any of our ships could travel. How do we know they don't have more fleets positioned around our other worlds? The terrible truth was becoming clear. Humanity had not arrived to beg for admission to the Galactic Council. They had come to change the entire structure of galactic civilization. And they had the power to enforce their demands. Counselor Vex Thara broke the silence with a simple observation. Perhaps it's time we listen to what they have to say. 3 days after the human fleet's dramatic arrival, formal negotiations began aboard Neutral Station 7, a diplomatic facility floating between the Council homeworld and its largest moon. President Sam Carter led the human delegation, flanked by Admiral Morrison, Dr. Park, and Ambassador Helen Ross. Earth's most experienced interspecies negotiator. The alien delegation was larger and more diverse. Counselor Vex Thara represented the diplomatic faction, while Fleet Marshal Corden spoke for military interests. Intelligence Chief Zale Prima attended as an observer, along with representatives from all 12 major council races and 6 newer member species. Before we begin, President Carter said in clear, simple words, let me state humanity's position. We did not come here to join your council as it currently exists. We came to propose something better for everyone. Fleet Marshal Corden's massive frame shifted uncomfortably in his specially designed chair. You arrive with warships and demand changes to a system that has maintained peace for centuries. This is not diplomacy. This is extortion. Marshal, Ambassador Ross replied smoothly. Our ships remain in defensive positions around your installations. We have made no threats and taken no hostile actions. We simply wanted to ensure we had your attention. You have it, Counselor, Vex Thara said dryly. Now, what exactly are you proposing? Dr. Park activated a holographic display showing their plan. We propose dissolving the current Galactic Council and replacing it with a true alliance of equal partners. The alien representatives erupted in shocked voices. Several older species delegates stood and began shouting in their native languages. The newer species representatives leaned forward with obvious interest. Impossible, declared the Therian delegate, an ancient race that had ruled for over 1,000 years. The natural order cannot be changed. What natural order? President, Carter asked calmly. The order where old species rule and new species serve? That's not natural. That's just the way things have been done. Ambassador Ross took over, her diplomatic training evident. Consider the benefits of true partnership. Instead of newer species working for older ones, all species would contribute their unique strengths to common goals. What strengths could primitive species possibly offer? Sneered the Valdorian representative. Amy Chen, who had been quietly working at her portable computer, looked up with a dangerous smile. Would you like a demonstration? Before anyone could respond, every piece of alien technology in the conference room briefly shut down and restarted. Lights flickered, translation systems reset, and environmental controls cycled through their startup sequences. How did you do that? Demanded Intelligence Chief Zale Prima. Your computer systems are about as secure as a house with no doors, Amy replied. We could take control of your entire infrastructure from here if we wanted to. The demonstration had the desired effect. The alien delegates fell silent, finally understanding that humanity's technological claims were not empty boasts. General Kate Thompson, attending by video link from Earth, added her perspective. We're not here to conquer anyone, but we also won't be conquered. Earth offers partnership to those who want it, and we'll defend ourselves against those who don't. Over the following days, the negotiations took on a different tone. The aliens began to realize that humanity was not going away, and that they had capabilities that could benefit everyone if properly utilized. What specific changes do you propose? Asked a representative from the Cathera, one of the newer member species. President Carter outlined their plan. First, all member species get equal votes regardless of when they joined. Second, leadership positions rotate among all members. Third, military forces are integrated for mutual defense. Fourth, technology and resources are shared for common benefit. And if some species refuse to accept these changes, asked Corden, then they're free to leave and form their own organization, Ambassador Ross replied, but they won't have access to the benefits of true partnership. The negotiations continued for weeks. Some alien species embraced the human proposals immediately. Others resisted fiercely. A few tried to find middle ground that would preserve some of their traditional advantages. The breakthrough came when the Nexari delegate, representing a species that had been council members for only 50 years, stood up during one session. For half a century, my people have contributed resources and labor to council projects, she said, but we have never been allowed to lead a project or make important decisions. The humans offer us something we have never had: respect. Her words resonated with other newer species. One by one, they began supporting the human proposals. Even some moderate members of older species began to see benefits in the new structure. Fleet Marshal Corden made one final attempt to preserve the old system. What guarantee do we have that humans won't become the new masters? Your fleet already demonstrates your military superiority. Admiral Morrison answered personally. Marshal, our fleet will return to Earth as soon as a new agreement is signed. We want partners, not subjects. Partners who can challenge us and make us better. And if future conflicts arise between member species, then we solve them together, President Carter said. Through discussion, mediation, and if necessary, collective action. No single species rules. Everyone has a voice. The final agreement took shape over several more days of detailed negotiations. The old Galactic Council would be dissolved and replaced with the Galactic Alliance. All member species would have equal representation. Leadership would rotate every 10 years. Military forces would be integrated under joint command. Technology sharing would be mandatory for all members. Not everyone was happy with the final document. 3 of the older species refused to sign and withdrew from galactic politics entirely. But 27 species, including all the newer members, and several progressive older races, agreed to the new structure. Counselor Vexthera signed for the diplomatic faction. This is either the beginning of a new golden age or the end of galactic civilization as we know it. Maybe both, President Carter replied as he added his signature. Sometimes you have to tear down old structures to build something better. Tikkenaiser. Months later, the new Galactic Alliance held its first joint military exercises. Human ships flew alongside alien vessels in coordinated maneuvers that would have been impossible under the old system.
Amy Chen's hybrid technologies were being shared with alien engineers, while human scientists learned from alien research. Admiral Morrison, now serving as Earth's representative to the Joint Military Command, watched the exercises from the bridge.
Of a new class of ship designed by human and alien engineers working together. Admiral, called Captain Sarah Martinez, who had been promoted to command the Joint Fleet's first integrated crew. The Therion ship is requesting assistance with their new engine systems. Send them our best technicians, Morrison replied. That's what partners do. Dr. Park, now heading the Alliance Cultural Exchange Program, was working with young beings from a dozen different species. Her goal was to ensure that future generations would grow up thinking of cooperation rather than domination as the natural order. Dr. Park, asked a young human student, why did it take so long for species to work together like this? Because sometimes people need to see that there's a better way before they're willing to change, she replied. Your generation will grow up in a galaxy where cooperation is normal. That's a gift previous generations couldn't give themselves. President Carter, serving as humanity's first representative to the Alliance Council, reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. Earth's patient strategy had paid off better than anyone had hoped. Instead of joining as junior members of someone else's empire, humans had helped create a new kind of galactic civilization. The old Galactic Council had maintained order through fear and hierarchy. The new alliance was building something unprecedented, a community of truly equal partners working toward common goals. Not everything was perfect. Some species still harbored resentments about the changes. Others struggled to adapt to the new system. But for the first time in galactic history, every species had a real voice in their own destiny. As he looked out at the stars from his office on the Alliance capital station, President Carter smiled. Humanity had gambled everything on a single, bold move. They had skipped every council meeting, built their fleet in secret, and arrived uninvited to demand equality. The gamble had paid off. The galaxy would never be the same.